Welcome to episode 861 of today's Antidote. Sorry about that. We're going to talk about being stuck. We're talking all week about being stuck. And today we're going to play a little fill in the blank game while we run the introduction. I'm going to say a phrase. I want you to fill in what comes in right afterwards. And then we'll talk about it and so much more. Here it comes. You ready? I don't know anyone who blank. I don't know anyone who blank. Okay? Tom, play the intro. Let them think. We'll be back in a minute and talk through it.
Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
Oh, sorry, Tom. I was writing my list. I was filling in the blank with all the options.
Well, don't you only get one option? Isn't that the way you play match game?
Maybe so, but I want people to be able to. I came up with 4 so far.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So,
you didn't do your little do.
Oh, do.
There we go.
Thank you.
I was missing that.
I understand.
All right. Well, let's get right to it. Good morning and welcome everyone to today's Antidote, our daily broadcast and podcast. Each week, Bob and I have a conversation around the topic. This week's topic is I'm stuck. It's a cry for help, no doubt. And today we're going to dive into, as Bob said, I don't know anyone who blank. And as we go through that conversation, if you have thoughts or ideas you want to share, please feel free to share them because we welcome your comments and ideas. Now, we are recording this and because we had some conflicts. And so, unfortunately, we won't be able to put your comments up on the screen as a part of the broadcast. And we will come back and offer our thoughts and ideas around them as well later.
And others will still see them, though, if you put them in the comments, they're there.
Correct. You won't hear them as part of the podcast. I guess that's one different thing. You'll have to go and check out the broadcast.
Unless we can predict what people will say, which would be kind of fun.
Really? Wouldn't that be boring if you knew what everyone was going to say? Why would you ask them anything?
Good point.
What's the point of asking a question if you know what they're going to say?
Fair.
So, right. Again, please share your thoughts and ideas. At the conclusion of that conversation, Bob and I will each offer our one thing, our today's antidote. That thing that we hope will help you figure out when you're not really sure or you think you don't know someone who ... Maybe you actually do. And considered it a different way. And of course, if you have a one thing that you would like to share, please feel free to do that as well. You can either do it in the comments or you can join us in our Sculpt Your Business or Leadership Facebook group. And you can share your thoughts and ideas there. Are you still writing down things?
I am, because I was looking at my scribble and couldn't make sense of it.
Heavens. Before we dive into that, and well, I guess this gives Bob more time to write down more things. So people he doesn't know, we share our celebrations each morning. Bob, what are you celebrating today? Don't say the list of all the people you don't know.
No, I'm celebrating the fact that tonight, finally, you and your wife, Liz, lovely voice artist, will get to meet someone very, very special to me. And I can't think of 3 more great people to all get together and for me to be lucky enough to be there with the 3 of you. So I am really looking forward to our dinner tonight. And as you know, you and I don't get to spend nearly as much time in person as we do in this platform. This will be maybe the 10th, 11th time we've been together since we started this program? If that?
No, I think more than that.
Like for us, I mean, we've been at events where we've seen each other, but not like genuinely just us. And this is social. This is purely social. This will not be a work meeting.
You want to place a bet on that?
Well, for the purposes of the IRS, I want to rescind that statement. There will be a work meeting.
We probably need to go back and record over that.
If you know, right?
Yes. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Fair enough. And I'm going to make that my celebration as well. I'm looking forward to this lovely dinner tonight and all that may come from it.
And it'll be fun tomorrow if one of us, if our celebration is about this or if it's not. We'll be back live.
Yes,
It
indeed.
was a great dinner. Really enjoyed it. It was so nice. So
I guess there is the potential that episode 861 could be the last.
Celebrate the weather.
Can we make the promise right now that no matter what happens at dinner, we will be back Thursday morning?
There's no doubt in my mind.
Okay, fair enough.
Tom, I'm going to tell you right now, this person, I pale in comparison to this person.
Sounds like a judgment.
Absolutely is.
Actually, it's a judgment of you and them.
This person is amazing.
Fair enough.
In every way. And I'm looking forward to you seeing that because you're going to say to me Thursday morning before the program, wow, I can't believe you actually were able to find someone that great. Because that's what I say every day.
Yeah, I would never say that.
Okay.
Or anyone.
So let's get to the topic.
Well, clearly, you know something. The one thing that isn't on your list, you didn't write down, I don't know anyone who's amazing. Because you clearly just said you know someone. So cross that off your list if you wrote that.
Okay. So here's my list.
Okay.
All right. I don't know anyone who has had the troubles I've had.
Okay.
I don't know anyone who did it this way and was successful.
Okay.
I don't know anyone who can help me. And I don't know anyone who can do this. That's my list of 4. And I think you could have variations on those 4. And I think this is, for me, I've said all these things at various times. And they tend to be when I'm stuck. I get in a place where it's like, no one has ever been able to do this. Why is everything going wrong for me? Why is my computer not working? Why is the internet not working? Why did I do this email campaign and no one responded? Why did I use Etsy and it didn't work for me? By the way, Etsy, if you come on board as a sponsor, I will tell people how great Etsy is. Just saying.
Can I ask you a question?
Have I ever used Etsy?
No.
Go ahead. Ask away.
Although it does remind me I have to ask you something afterwards. Don't let me forget that I have something I have to ask you about that's kind of around Etsy. Kind of. Actually, not true, because that's not what it's about. I'm thinking of what Etsy is. So anyhow.
Okay.
So can I ask you a question about all those things you wrote down?
You're going to say, are they all judgments?
No, I'm not going to say that. Nice try, though.
Please, go ahead. Folks, I think what's about to happen is it's going to be a bomb drop, but go ahead.
Well, I was thinking of something else that I was going to add to it, and now I lost it. Anyhow, here's the question I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
When you came up with this whole list.
I did.
What makes you so special?
What do you mean, what makes me so special?
What makes you so special that you think that you're the only one who has gone through these things? And there's no one else out there.
I certainly feel that way sometimes. I really do.
That you're the super special person who has, for some reason, no one else has ever had any of these issues, that it's just you, that the universe has chosen to bestow upon this.
That's how I feel sometimes.
Why?
I don't know. It just seems like it should be easier.
Isn't that a judgment?
Uh-huh. Sure.
Okay. And you think you know everything about everyone else? I guess that's the other thing I would ask.
I think I can specifically remember a time when I was trying to do something with the website. It wasn't working the way I wanted it to. It was something I spent a lot of a weekend on.
Okay.
And I pretty much said all these things.
Because you knew everyone in the world and no one else had ever tried to do it that way. And there was nobody else out there who could potentially help you. And so you just
Well, I think the thing for me was I got stuck because I thought I was the only person who could do all those that was in this situation. What I've come to realize is other people have been in similar situations, they've been in the same situation, or even if they haven't been in the situation, they're able to help me. The pathway to getting unstuck often for me is other people.
Well, is that because you thought you had to do it all yourself?
Absolutely.
Interesting. Which means, look how unique again you are. That you are the only one who doesn't need any help from anyone.
There have been days where I've certainly operated that way.
And how's that worked out for you?
Not so well.
So I think it's one of those things.
I don't think I'm alone in this. I think there are people who are listening to this and watching this going, I've been there. I know exactly where he is.
Of course they are. I ask those questions because
right. And I think that's the part of this that we're trying to get at, right?
Sure.
When you break it down that way, when you ask those questions of me, it sounds completely foolish. The whole thing is foolish. However, when I'm in that moment, when things aren't working the way I want them to work, and I get stuck, all that logic goes out the window. I am embedded in my emotions. That's the only thing that I can see is I'm going to kill someone or something.
Well, that might be one reason that we aren't able to do the show on Thursdays if you go out and kill someone. So
I don't plan to kill anyone.
Okay.
But I think there are moments when you are so frustrated.
Well, because I think that goes back to
why didn't I stay at a full-time job? What was I thinking, Tom? This is crazy. I don't know how to do my taxes, or I don't know how to do that. By the way, IRS, that's not true. I know how to do my taxes. I understand business meals. We're good.
All right. I'm starting to get worried about this. Well, I think it's one of those things that we have to think about is why do we feel we have to do it alone? Mm-hmm. Or why do we feel that, I think the other one that comes up is I think there's a lot of business leaders who say, why doesn't anyone understand me? Yep. I keep telling them over and over and over and over and over and over and that this is how to do it. Why don't they understand me? Why don't I know anyone who can just do what I tell them to do?
I didn't even think of that one. That's a good one.
I think that's a typical leader.
Yes.
Response is that no one pays attention. Why don't I know anyone I could hire who would just do what they're supposed to do?
Or come to work on time.
Right.
Or stay late.
Correct.
Or listen to the customer.
Yes.
Or do those things around the business that need to be done without being told.
Which goes back to the same thing of that I'm the only one who can do it.
I would agree with you.
And do it my way.
And that's what will get you stuck more than anything else, right?
Of course.
And I think we all go through it. In various degrees, in various stages. Even multi-million-dollar owners of companies go through it.
Because ultimately it comes back to thinking that you're right or you're wrong and making that judgment. So if I'm a business leader who can't seem to find anyone who can come in and do the job the way they're supposed to, that means that I know that I believe that there's only one way to do it, and that's my way. And
only one set of pedigrees to get there, right? Oh, you had to have this degree from this school, or you had to work at this kind of job before, or you had to be raised a certain way.
Right. And
lots of mini-me's, right? If you're not just like me, you can't come work with me because you're not going to be the same.
And why would I don't know anyone who can do this work the way I do it. And so why would I go find anybody who could do my taxes, who could help me with a website, who could be an administrative assistant, who could be a virtual assistant, who could
take the trash out at the nonprofit.
Take the trash out at the nonprofit.
Can
Absolutely.
you tell us an example about that where someone?
You remember that story? Look
I
at
do.
you.
That story jumped out at me. Yes, someone from a nonprofit who was in a leadership role and they were taking out the trash.
The executive director was worried about taking out the trash, and yeah, I understand that. That doesn't mean that that's how they should be spending their time. So I think it's all those things is that we look at, and again, judge things. Are they doing it right or wrong? And that helps us to get stuck because so often, if they're not doing it the way that we asked them to do it, told them to do it, showed them how to do it, the instruction said to do it, we believe they're wrong. And now we get frustrated and we go tell them, and now they're frustrated because they don't do it that way. And that's not what's real for them. And so now we have the butting of heads of what am I going to do now because my boss is being a jerk or my employee is being stubborn, and we can't seem to come to any sort of conclusions that are helping us move forward.
Or for the boss or the leader, it just reinforces that whole belief that they can only do it themselves.
Sure.
I brought someone in, they didn't do it my way. It was a mess. Therefore, I'm not going to try it again.
And it wasn't a mess.
I'll work 70 hours a week. I'll work 80 hours a week. I'll work 90 hours a week. I will be the one who does the payroll and takes out the trash and make sure every customer is satisfied. And I'll look at every single order that comes through here because I'm the only one I trust.
Certainly.
I know some leaders who have been that way. I can think of one.
Well, and it sounds like, based on what you said before, that there might be some business owners like you, and I would say like me, who feel the same way at some point. Why do I continue to do my taxes even though I hate them? They drive me nuts. And I probably don't know all that I would need to know to do them effectively. Yet, I still do them.
And I know for me, I'll cover it up with, well, it would be really expensive to bring someone in to help me.
Sure.
Or hiring a virtual assistant. That's a great idea, but they'd never be able to do it. They're not smart enough. They don't know. They're not sitting at the desk. I need someone who's right here, right next to me. They can't be virtual. That's never going to work. Now, I just told a business owner that I started working with, I said, you're going to have to bring in an assistant one way or another. So you might want to start thinking about your procedures and how you do things and writing it down. And he was like, there's no way, unless you can clone me. There's just no way that's going to work. And I said, well, here's the thing. You're a limited resource. You're telling me you want to work fewer hours, not more, and you want to increase the number of customers you have. That can't work. It just can't work. The logic of that doesn't work. You understand, as you add more customers, there's more administrative work. The more administrative work you do, the less time you have to go out and find new customers. So if you're really good at finding new customers, you need to find someone to do the administrative work. And you say, yeah, that makes sense, but no one can do it the way I wouldn't feel comfortable letting my customer work with someone else.
Those three little letters.
What? 3 letters?
3 letters to form a word.
What 3?
It's that other word that I don't like to use.
I'm totally blanking.
It's 3 letters.
But okay.
You would listen to what you said.
I'm trying very hard to be passionate about it because I'm trying to make the point. I'm being extreme, so I'm play acting. So I'm just sort of rolling in the character.
Fair enough. Okay.
So I had to step back and be Bob instead of being the character that was thinking that way. Does that make? Yeah.
I understand now. I didn't understand that at the time.
I understand.
You might want to give me a little heads up that I'm role playing here, because sometimes I don't always
remember when we did role playing early on.
I do remember that.
We had what did we have?
I have no idea.
We had the players. I can't remember. We'll have to go back. It was about 3 years ago. Remember the Renegade Success Network players and their presentation of whatever. We might have to bring them back.
Yeah, that might be.
And if you want to sponsor the Renegade Success Network players and our
No, you don't.
two-act play,
No, you don't. You really don't. There's other things you could sponsor that you could do that I think, at least I believe. I don't know. Well, maybe not. Maybe that would be
Right.
a bad. Who knows?
So I think what we're really getting at is the mindset of a leader or owner, that sometimes we can be our own worst enemy.
Sure.
We can make ourselves get stuck believing that we are the only one capable of, the only one experiencing what we experience, the only one doing what we're doing, and the only one who cares as much as we care. And that those three can really derail you from seeing any kind of opportunities.
Sure.
Because you could have I did some interviewing with one company a couple of years ago. They had several really good candidates come through the door. And the owner was so funny. It was like, well, they didn't know this little thing. In one case, it was like, did you notice they took notes with a pen? I'm like, yeah. Well, anyone who knows accounting would use a pencil. I'm thinking, okay. Wow.
Right.
Next, it's going to be the perfume choice. Or did you notice that they tied their laces left first, then right, not right, then left? And we can do this. It's really easy to find fault with someone when we don't want to admit that someone might be able to do something differently than us, but achieve the same outcome. And I know for me, when someone from the outside has come in and done things that I thought I had to do my certain way, I've learned from them.
Sure.
It's like, oh, that sounded really good. I've never said that on a call. That was really good. If I'm being honest about it, if I'm so set in my ways, it's like, well, you didn't follow the script exactly.
I would say I had an example of that. So, as many people on the show know, in the summer, I assign officials to girls lacrosse tournaments. And this year I took on another client, which expanded our number of events significantly and created some conflict. And so the only way that I could do that was I have someone else who's doing a significant part of that work. And after the first event, I saw some of the things that they did. And one of the things that I had sometimes struggled with is I had done all my communication via email. And it would be in a chain of emails. And sometimes I think I would miss messages just I looked at them and they went away and I forgot to go back to them or something like that. And so the person who's helping me actually used a form to reply to say, yes, the schedule looks good, or no, it doesn't, or this is how many games I have. And by doing it through a form, I can just download and look at the results of the form, and it's always there, rather than hoping that as I'm going through email, I can find that message or I don't miss that message that may have happened. And as I saw that, I was like, wow, that's an effective way to avoid the challenge of missing emails. And I think that was something I tried to incorporate into this past weekend. And, there's still some things about it that are challenging, and yet it helps significantly with not cluttering up my email box with just people saying, yes, confirmed, looks good, whatever. And I think that was an interesting thing to take away. It doesn't mean that it's better or my way was worse, or it was just what was real for me because I hadn't considered that as an option. And now that I have, I can be like, maybe. And it may or may not work for me because we're different and unique. And yet I can try to figure out whether that makes sense or not.
Oh, I like that story. That was a good example. Very nice. And it involved you, which I like even better.
Okay.
So I'm ready for my one thing. When we talk about being stuck and I don't know anyone who, I think really what we're saying, instead of I don't know anyone who is, I'm the only one who can. And that can tend to be the most paralyzing thing that we can say. If we're saying I'm the only one who can, we're probably setting, like if I had to do over, I would reset the title of the episode to I'm the only one who can.
Yeah,
So.
I would. Well, it's a way of saying the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that actually. I hadn't thought about that as in that way. Although I think it's something that does show up being stuck, and part of it is we see the way others do it, and we don't value it the way we could, and then we are uncertain what to do, and really it creates what we talked about yesterday was confusion. We feel like we're the only one who can do it, and now we have to balance priorities. Do I work on my books? Do I do email? And it's uncertain, and that can cause a lot of confusion just because we think that we have to do it our way. And that's the only way to do it.
My way or the highway.
Yeah, people never heard that before.
My way is the pathway of paralysis.
Well, here's the other thing. It's a choice, right? We can make that choice. At least they gave you a choice, my way or the highway. I'm like, okay,
Right.
I can choose to go your way, and I really don't want to. So I'm going to go to the highway and find
Right.
another path.
Right.
I think that it's about the way we look at what's real for each of us, and that so often we aren't willing to look at what's real. That if I took a look at what is truly real for me, I'm not a tax expert. And my business is getting more complicated. And now that I have two businesses, that makes it even more complicated. And why am I spending all that time doing this? When I could be working on writing a book, when I could be working with other clients, which it could be bringing on more Renegade Success Network members and help them figure out how to realize that it doesn't have to just be them, that they can find others who can help them be as effective and grow their business in a way that they had never considered.
I like that. That's
Excellent.
good.
All right, everyone. Thanks so much for being with us. If you have your one thing you'd like to share, please feel free to share it in the comments. Again, we will come back and comment on them as this is recorded, in case you somehow missed the intro. Or we're just so enthralled in the conversation, forgot that this was a recording. Either way, please feel free to share your value because we know it'll help us, and someone out there might actually hear it, even though people have been telling them that all along. If you're listening to the podcast, we know there's no place to comment, whether it's live or recorded. So please feel free to join us in our Sculpt Your Business or Leadership Facebook group, where you can help share your thoughts and ideas, as well as maybe find some that will help you go from chaos and confusion to confidence and control, and really create the business or the leadership role that you desire. So we look forward to seeing you in that group. If not, we will see you Thursday morning, 7 a.m.
Assuming we don't get into a fight at dinner tonight.
It's just going to be whatever is real. 7 a.m.-ish Eastern time for our next episode of Today's Antidote.
Hey, until then, you know what? You should embrace the renegading you. It's worth it. Trust me. I'm going to embrace the renegade in me at dinner tonight with Tom.
Fair enough.
You don't even know what to do with that, do you?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, although I'm not going to anticipate or judge it and try to anticipate what the results are going to be. I'm just going to know that it's in the moment, and I'm going to be real as I can be.
Awesome. Can't wait.
All right, everyone, go out and enjoy the day. We will see you soon.
Hey, sculpt your business. Go from chaos and confusion to confidence control. It's that easy. It is that easy. Wouldn't you love to have confidence in what you're doing each day, knowing what to do, when to do it, why you're doing it? Wouldn't you like to have control over how you go about things and what's going to happen in your day? That's available to you with our Sculpt Your Business program. It's great for owners and leaders. If you want to know more, go to renegadesuccessnetwork.com or ask Tom or Bob, and one of us would be happy to talk you through it. Hope to see you there soon.